From stories across the globe to stories here at home, this is the National News Broadcast. A very good evening to you. I'm Sharifa Tahir.
And I am Thilina Udayaratna. Coming up are your top stories for tonight. The Health Division warns that the Delta variant is spreading at a speed 100 times faster than the original coronavirus. People commend the Sri Lanka Army for its successful vaccination program. Venerable Ulapane Sumangala Thera charges that Mahinda Jayasinghe is fulfilling JVP's political needs under the cover of the teachers' struggle. Bail applications of 4 suspects, including the wife of Rushad Badiuddin, have been rejected.
We move on to those and other stories in detail. Police media spokesman and senior DIG Ajit Rohana says that 130 persons who have violated quarantine laws in the 24 hours that ended at 6 o'clock this morning have been taken into police custody. So far, 53,701 persons have been arrested in this connection.
130 persons have been arrested in connection with the offences of face mask, social distancing and the violation of quarantine rules and regulations for a period of last 24 hours. Total number of 53,701 persons have been arrested since the inception from the 30th of October 2020 to date. 6,498 persons have been checked at the 13 roadblocks at entry and exit points of Western Province along with 3,287 vehicles. We are conducting continuous quarantine operations, especially to apprehend the persons who are moving in public places without face masks, and some persons are found with face masks but they have not worn the face mask properly. In addition to that, the persons who have been ordered to follow quarantine procedures have violated quarantine rules and regulations, and they sometimes disobeyed with quarantine rules and regulations. We are conducting special operations in order to apprehend the persons who have violated the quarantine procedures. If the person has been informed to follow quarantine procedures at home, they should stay at home all the times during the specific period informed by the health authorities. And apart from that, if a person has been ordered to get treatment at home or their residencies, all the time they need to follow the specific instructions given by the health authorities. Sri Lanka Police are monitoring the situation in this connection. The vaccination program organized by Sri Lanka Police Community Policing Division, collaboration with the health authorities of Colombo Municipal Council, is conducted today from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Sugadasa Indoor Stadium, and the citizens of Colombo City who have not been vaccinated so far are kindly requested to attend the vaccination program, and the persons who are above the age of 30 are eligible to get the vaccine. So therefore, kindly attend the vaccination program. And officers of Police Community Policing Division are conducting special patrols and surveillance operations in the Colombo city in order to trace the persons who have not been vaccinated yet, and they are directed to the vaccination center.
The health divisions warn that the Delta variant is spreading at a speed 100 times faster than the original coronavirus. Chairman of the State Pharmaceuticals Corporation and specialist physician Dr. Prasanna Gunasena reiterates that it is essential to be inoculated and to act to control the spread of the viral disease.
Today, we are facing a critical stage of this global pandemic of COVID-19. As we know, we have about more than 30,000 patients in the hospitals, and we get about 2,500 patients a day. And we know that the Delta variant is spreading fast in the country. The Delta variant spreads very fast compared to the original wild variety of this COVID-19. It's about 100% more infective among the people. What is the solution for this one? The best solution so far available, according to WHO latest fact sheet, is to immunize everybody as quickly as possible. And when it comes to severe disease, they very categorically says that all vaccines are equally effective. Therefore, rather than selecting or choosing different vaccines and waiting until a particular vaccine comes, it is advisable to get whatever the available vaccine as quickly as possible. Now, as we know, any vaccine, the coverage is about 95, maybe 90, maybe 97, 98. So there's about a 2%, 5% percentage of population who is vulnerable to get the severe disease. That is the reality. But if we highlight that small portion and discourage majority of people from getting the vaccine, we are heading for a disaster. So please, I ask everybody not to advocate against vaccines. Do not highlight here and there evidence of some breakthrough infection or deaths, even in patients who had vaccination. That is very bad advocacy, and we should not do that, because categorically saying whole world has been benefited by getting immunization by COVID-19 vaccine. And once we are vaccinated, how we are going to prevent further spread is to stick to regulations such as wearing this mask and also avoid gatherings. As I said, the weddings, the funerals and any other gatherings like protests, because in those areas, people have to take off their mask and eat together, drink together, and sometimes share the washrooms and bedrooms. So in that type of situation, this Delta variant can spread very fast. So it's an unnecessary risk take in this global pandemic until we get the proper vaccination, proper immunity from both vaccinations to go into this kind of a vulnerable places. We are not going to close down the country because of the economic reasons. Most of the countries in the world also follow the same route. But we have imposed certain restrictions, especially for people with comorbidities and pregnant mothers and the shift system in the public sector and the private sector. These are to reduce the number of people in one place. So even though we impose these laws, if people gather together at their localities, homes, the parties, the sports and everything, then idea of these regulations will be completely lost. So I think it should be very clear that we follow the steps according to the priority. First one is immunization. Second is avoid gathering. Third thing is wearing the mask and also keep distance, wash the hands, and if there's any symptoms, go to a doctor quickly. So these are the basic principles, and if we get together and follow these regulations, we will be able to defeat this pandemic within the next couple of months.
Another consignment of 78,390 doses of the US-manufactured Pfizer vaccine was brought to the island today by aircraft QR-688 of the Qatar Airlines from Doha, Qatar. Upon arrival at the Katunaik International Airport, the stock of vaccines was transferred to the Blood Transfusion Center in Narayanpeta. Administering of the first dose of the Sinopharm vaccine to persons above the age of 30 years was conducted at the Sukatadasa Indoor Stadium today as well. The Grand Pass Police Station was engaged in bringing old and disabled persons to the vaccination center. The Western Music Band group of the Sri Lanka Police has performed a concert for the mental relief of the people who came to be vaccinated. Provision of the first and second doses of the Sinopharm vaccine has commenced at the theatre premises in Battaramulla today. The Sri Lanka Army has extended assistance for the conducting of the program. The first dose of the AstraZeneca vaccine is presently being given to people in Kegol. A vaccination program was conducted at the Paragammana Dharmapala Junior School in Kegol today. The government's information department says that people above the age of 60 in the Western province with serious illnesses and who have not received the first dose so far will receive vaccines for 3 days starting tomorrow. The eligible groups could register themselves for inoculation by dialing the telephone number 1906. The department communique adds that the best solution to prevent the affliction of COVID-19 is vaccination. 14,019,668 doses of vaccines have so far been inoculated on people in Sri Lanka under the COVID-19 immunization program. 23,135 persons have received the first dose of AstraZeneca. The second dose has been inoculated on 1,021 persons yesterday. The first dose of the Sinopharm vaccine has also been given to 69,041 persons yesterday. The number of persons who have received the second dose of the same vaccines amounts to 53,678. The first dose of the Pfizer vaccine has also been given to 711 persons yesterday. The second dose of the same vaccine has also been administered to 75 persons yesterday. 995 persons have also received the first dose of the Moderna vaccine yesterday. It has also been reported that the people have received 1,659,331 doses of vaccines in the past 7 days. Yesterday alone, 248,656 doses have been administered. Chinese ambassador in Sri Lanka, Shi Wenghang, says that the Chinese government gives priority to extending all necessary support to Sri Lanka to control the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. Accordingly, Sri Lanka will receive further necessary assistance and grants shortly. He has given the assurance when he met Minister Pavitra Vanyarachi today. The minister said that she wishes to extend her gratitude to the Chinese government and the people for extending continuous support, further strengthening long-standing bilateral relations. (1,928) COVID-19 infected persons have been detected in the country today. The procedure to look after patients with COVID-19 characteristics in their residences was scheduled to commence with effect from today. The Director of Regional Health Services in Kalutara has decided to cremate throughout the 24 hours the bodies of persons died as a result of COVID-19. Accordingly, 14 bodies of COVID-19 victims were cremated last night. The Director General of Health Services has confirmed yesterday on the occurrence of 111 COVID-19 related deaths. An Ashirvada Puja program was conducted at the Saranath Moolagandha Kuti Viharasthana in India to extend blessings on Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa on his first anniversary of assuming duties in the post of Prime Minister, and also to the people affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. The Prime Minister has joined the program online from the temple trees. The puja was jointly organized by the Indo-Sri Lanka Friendship Association and the Indian High Commissioner's Office in Sri Lanka under the leadership of the Mahabodhi Society of India. All Viharas affiliated to the Indian Mahabodhi Society have joined the Blessings program, which was conducted under the patronage of General Secretary of the Indian Mahabodhi Society, Venerable Palavatte Sivali Thera. The Mahasangha, representing the Viharas of the Indian Mahabodhi Society in Saranath, Lumbini, Kolkata, Lucknow and Buddhagaya, have participated in the Ashirvada Puja. Indian High Commissioner in Sri Lanka, Gopal Bagle, and heads of High Commissioner's Office in both countries have also attended the event.
Army Commander General Shavendra Silva says that there is a higher people's appreciation of the Sri Lanka Army on its vaccination programs. He was responding to a statement made by leader of the United National Party, Ranil Wickremesinghe, in this regard. Leader of the UNP, Ranil Wickremesinghe, said that there is a problem relating to inoculation of vaccines. He added that the separate army is in charge of the operations and the program does not come under the purview of the Ministry of Health. He has also said that this was unacceptable and could be subjected to shortcomings. Army Commander General Shavendra Silva said that Ranil Wickremesinghe had received the vaccine from the vaccination centre at the Sri Lanka Army Base Hospital. He added that if Ranil Wickremesinghe says that there are shortcomings in the vaccination program, then the people of the country will also have to take a decision regarding his statement. The Army Commander also said that the President of the country, the task force and the two ministers in charge of the Ministry of Health are also engaged in the vaccination program. In addition to several other cabinet ministers, Director General of Health Services, Secretary to the Ministry of Health, commanders of 3 armed forces, the IGP and several specialist physicians are also in the task force. The decisions are taken collective decisions.
Convener of the Teachers Principals National Collective, Venerable Ulapane Subangala Thera, has accused Mahinda Jayasinghe for fulfilling the political needs of the Janatha Vimukti Peramuna by concealing himself in the struggle of the teachers' profession. The Thera adds that they have no need to obtaining genuine solutions to the demands of teachers and principals. Venerable Ulapane Subangala Thera has made these remarks in response to a statement made by Mahinda Jayasinghe at a media briefing yesterday. Secretary of the Ceylon Teachers Services Union, Mahinda Jayasinghe, said that the people will take a decision on his profile. He has been a trade union leader who had fought to resolve the problems of salary anomalies of teachers and principals for the past 24 years. He further said that he had never betrayed struggles and that the charges filed against him were irrelevant. Convener of the Teachers Principals National Collective, Venerable Ulapane Subangala Thera, has said that those who had actively intervened in the issue and had given leadership will be the perpetrators. Had the struggle not been betrayed, the teachers would have by now been able to receive a solution. The teachers' problem had been dragged for the past 24 years. The Thera also said that in the probationary government from 2003 to 5, 4 out of the 30 cabinet ministers were JVPs. There had also been 4 JVP deputy ministers. The Thera has inquired as to what the party had done to resolve the issue. He has also questioned as to who had betrayed the issue in Parliament. The Thera added that he is able to unveil the JVP betrayals of trade union struggles and the lies perpetrated by them. He also accused the JVP of not tolerating any person who holds opinions against them in universities as well. Such persons are being subject to physical assault.
Education Minister Professor G.L. Pires says that he has to inquire from teachers whether they were acting according to their conscience and taking part in a professional agitation regarding a problem that had persisted for a period of 24 years. The minister was addressing a media briefing today. Minister Professor G.L. Pires said he is asking very honestly a question from all teachers. The minister said that teachers had not stated in any occasion that they do not want to teach children. The minister further said that teachers in the country were not engaged in any instance in the past 24 years to engage in strikes or to refrain from attending educational duties. The minister had inquired whether it is justifiable to engage in an action which they had never taken in the past. He has also questioned the teachers whether it is justifiable to engage in such actions amidst the health crisis. Professor G.L. Pires further said that nobody is unable to say that the government has not remained sensitive to the issue. The cabinet has discussed on the problem. The stance of the cabinet has been that the appropriate actions to resolve the issue will have to be taken through the forthcoming budget. The minister added that the next budget will be presented in 3 months' time.
The World Indigenous Community Day falls today. This day is being commemorated on the 9th of August every year. The objective is to enhance and consolidate the rights of Indigenous people. The Indigenous people are being identified as ethnic groups of a country who are the original settlers, as well as any of those isolated communities having special languages, cultures and lifestyles. It has been estimated that between 370 to 500 million Indigenous people are living around 90 countries in the world, and this represents 5% of the global population. It has also been found out that 5,000 types of indigenous groups of people are inhabiting the globe. 70% of them live in the Asian continent itself. The indigenous community in Sri Lanka also boasts of a long history. The indigenous people living in different parts of the island are being named as Vaddas. One of the terminologies of the meaning of the word Vadda is a person who shoots. The other probable meaning could be the protector of the forest. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has issued a special message in connection with the World Indigenous People Day. The president in his message points out that the history provides evidence that the indigenous communities had been groups of people enriched with human qualities sufficient enough to safeguard their own existence as well as the security of the country they lived in. The president adds that these communities have set an example to the entire world on the quality of simple living, which appropriately made use of aesthetic beauties and technologies. He also says that the indigenous communities deserve the respect for socializing the genuine characteristics of leadership. The Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, since its inception, has been instrumental in socializing many information on the lives of the indigenous communities through its numerous programs. This bondage and relationship has remained intact since the day of the former indigenous community leader Tisahami to the present-day leader Uruvarage Vannilatto. An SLRC production team headed by the Director General of the National Television, Jayampati Bandara Heenkenda, has visited Dambana to record the events of the commendable day. The National Television was scheduled to telecast a special program on the Indigenous Day at 9:15 tonight.
Moving on with more local stories, the Colombo Magistrates Court has rejected today bail applications of 4 suspects, including wife of Rishad Badiuddin, who have been arrested and placed under detention in connection with the burning to death of a female child servant. Accordingly, in addition to Badiuddin's wife, the other arrested detained persons, including the father and the brother of the wife and the broker who brought the child to the house, were ordered to be further remanded till the 23rd of this month. The order has been delivered by Colombo Additional Magistrate Rajendra Jayasuriya when the plaintiffs were summoned before the courts today. Deputy Solicitor General Dilip Apiris told before the courts that it was a physician by the name of Randika who had made a note at the time of the admission of the child to the hospital that the child had set fire to her body by herself. The magistrate at this instance has posed a query stating whether it would become possible to clarify as to what he had actually stated after the admission of the child if another statement could be recorded from him. The Deputy Solicitor General, responding to the question, said that a team of investigators are hoping to receive a statement from the physician. The Deputy Solicitor General also said that the doctor has gone abroad and therefore the officials have focused attention to record a statement from him through Zoom technology. The Deputy Solicitor General also said that not a single physician had made any statement regarding that the child was in proper consciousness at the time of hospitalization. He added that the police had recorded the statement from the former minister Rishad Badiuddin, currently in custody, on last Saturday. He added that Rishad Badiuddin had stated that he was not properly aware of the child. The Deputy Solicitor General Dilip Apiris added that Rishad Badiuddin, as the household of the relevant residents, has no right to make such a statement. He added that previous interrogations on female youth who were deployed in domestic service at the house had revealed that the wife of Rishad Badiuddin was responsible for atrocities committed on the female servants, including assaulting them and not feeding them adequately.
The Kandy Essala Maha Perahara Festival has commenced at the auspicious time of 1:09 am today with the cup planting ceremony. By fulfilling a historic ritual, the cup was brought from the premises of the Dedimunda Devalaya in Alutnuwara in a procession yesterday. It was later on distributed among the Satara Mahadevalayas of Natha, Vishnu, Kataragama and Pattini. According to the ancient customs, the cup planting has taken place at the 4 Mahadevalayas at the auspicious time. Devadana Nilame of the Sri Dalada Maligawa, Pradeep Nilangadala, was also present on the occasion. 5 internal peraharas of the 4 Mahadevalayas are scheduled to be conducted up to the 12th of this month. The first Kumbal Perahara is expected to parade the streets on the 13th of this month. Well, that's it from the Rupavahini News Desk for tonight. Join us once again tomorrow. Until then, thanks for watching. Have a great night.
Good night.